Hey guys, Bono here. You might be asking what's in my hand. This is salt. Don't ask me why I have it, but today we're kinda gonna talk about salts. Except we're not gonna talk about what salts are, we're gonna talk about what salts can do. You see, we know salt as this substance used for cooking and preserving meat. But is it really limited to those functions only? No, of course not. It's a rhetorical question. But what else can it do? Take a look at this.
In colder climates where winter season happens, many countries place salt on their roads to prevent ice from forming. So what's the science behind that?
As we all know, snow is made out of frozen water crystals. The addition of salt as a solute or an impurity will vary the freezing point high or low, which in this case lowers the freezing point of water below 0 degrees Celsius, meaning that it needs to get colder than that in order for ice to form.
It's also why salt is sometimes used in making ice cream so you can get that soft and creamy texture.
And yes, it's also why most oceans don't freeze.
The concept referring to the lowering of the freezing point with reference to the solute is called the freezing point depression, which is connected to the colligative properties of solutions. Now, colligative properties refer to the physical changes resulting from adding a solute to a solvent, depending on how many solute particles are present, the amount and type of solvent, but not on the type of solute particles. The solute particles also affect the solution's boiling point and freezing point, as well as the vapor and osmotic pressures. With that being said, it is worth mentioning that the concentration, boiling point, and the osmotic pressures are directly proportional with each other, whilst the concentration, vapor pressure, and the freezing point are inversely proportional with each other. There are different colligative properties of the solutions, and we can dive deep on how they're applied in the real world. Just like how boiling point elevation is used in refining alcohol through distillation, how reverse osmosis works under osmotic pressures to purify and create a clean drinkable water product, and on thermal flasks applying the concept of vapor pressure lowering. But let's focus on the freezing point depression part. Now, salt isn't the only common substance used for the application of freezing point depression. Ethylene glycol is a common antifreeze compound found in many de-icing fluids used in cars and even in airplanes. With how much of an engineering marvel planes are, they still are susceptible to the winter. Snow usually covers an airplane through almost all its external parts, including its engine, wings, tail, and even some units that may affect systems found in the cockpit. This buildup of material can disrupt the plane's normal functions and can even interfere with flying. Even worse, this may also lead to accidents. This is why it is standard protocol to de-ice airplanes before flying.
Did you guys also know that some species living in the extreme cold can produce substances such as glycerol and sorbitol to avoid freezing themselves? It's amazing how evolution can take someone somewhere. An example of this would be the spring peeper frog and the rainbow snowfish.
To summarize this episode up, we talked about salts, freezing point depressions, and colligative properties. Now, colligative properties of solutions are important as we can use the knowledge about it and apply it to real-world scenarios. Now, before we end this episode, I will tell you a joke. Why did salt feel like it had the most influence among colligative properties? Because it was the season decision maker! Was it really that unfunny?